Hey, FATEH.
Oh yeah.
We have a question from Turkey, from Ceran. She says, can the fears of my mother transfer to me during birth? And if so, how do we overcome them?
Yeah, deep subject. Yes, sure. It's not can they, it's part of the ground of our being is the fear of the mother. It's like all through the 9 month in the womb, we are in the water and we are imprinted. There is a resonance of the sound in the water, so we are completely imprinted with every word our mother is saying. And we are also imprinted because water carries vibration, energy vibration, subtle vibrations. We are at the same time impacted by the energy motion of the mother while she is speaking. So there is these two imprints. There is the imprint of the sound that she's producing, how she expresses herself, and at the same time how much she's trying to express through sound but actually is not going through the sound. So it's what we are imprinted by is somehow, we could say, the lie of the mother. How much she is or not behind her words, how much her words match with her inner experience. And what we are imprinted by is that this is this kind of distance. How much the mother is true to herself, how much the mother is listening to herself, how much the mother is in contact with her inner being will affect us. And if she's trying to convince herself or others through her words, this is what we will get as an information. And it's a very deep information because this is the trying to control life. How much our mother is trying to control life will affect us directly when we are in the womb. It will be more obvious afterwards because she will try to control us as kids, as young kids. So somehow we'll have a way to reflect on that and to accept it or not when we start to speak or when we start to get older. But when we are in the womb, we have absolutely no choice but to be that. Because this is where we are and we cannot move from that space. So the question is not can the fear of the mother influence us? Is I am the fear of my mother until further notice, which is if I can really get out of the womb consciously, this is when I can really process that fear. So this is why the spiritual tradition, they say we have two births. We have the physical birth, where our physical body actually gets out of the womb. But we have a second birth, which is the spiritual one. It's when we really decide to have a life of our own and not the life based on the fear of the mother. Okay? So, yeah, how I can listen, how I am available to life, how I can let reality affect me is through somehow experiencing deeply within myself this fear of the mother. When I say fear of the mother, it's not being afraid of my mother, even though it can be, but it's how much my mother transferred her fears to me. And this will be deeply felt in my physical body. How much tense my muscles are, how much, especially in the pelvic floor, in the jaw, all the control mechanism, how much I tense myself when I'm in relation with somebody else. This is where the fear is held. And this is what we explore when we talk about spiritual path or yogic path, is being in contact with this fear. Because this fear is my actual contact with reality. If I can feel how much I'm tense, I have a chance to listen. In this tension is contained the complete openness of my being. You know, I cannot be free. So spiritual path is not about finding freedom. It's about being in contact with this tension, because in this tension is the information of the distance of my mother, and in this distance is the reconciliation between those two parts. So in this fear, in this tension, there is a chance for me to really be who I am and to be behind my words, to speak my truth and live according to it. So thought, words, actions can match, be in alignment. Satnam.
And if I become a parent myself, like a mother, is there something I need to be aware of, or regarding to what you said?
You have a very loud voice for mother. Yeah, we should ask a mother, I think, because whatever is happening for us as a child, we will, and how much of this fear we process through childhood, whatever was not digested, we will have it mirrored back when we have children. So, and it's very interesting, because when you have a 2-year-old child, it will immediately resonate with you when you were 2. So even though through your childhood and teenage years and early adult years, you couldn't be in contact with that, when you have children, they bring you closer to that, to this distance, because you cannot tell something to a child if you are not that. A child will always react to an authority that is not aligned with who you are. So if you try to convince your children to do something, if you yourself you don't vibrate that, they will react. They will react. And this is when we have a second chance to match realize this inner distance that we have put between our words and our what we are actually. And yeah, this goes into a whole field of what is education, and maybe we can have some other videos about it, but even the word education is full of how much I can control the child to be the way I want him or her to be. And the universe doesn't function that way. The universe vibrates to who we are, not what we want to be. So if I am aligned with my words, when I say something to a child, he will do it. Because he sees the fire that is going through my words, this enthusiasm that I share is because I vibrate, I appreciate what I'm saying. So if this is transmitted through my words, this fire that is alive within me will be alive within the child. So he will go for the action, because this fire, you cannot but follow it and nourish it, because it's a fire of life, of joy and entertainment, like the joy of being alive. And this is what we call natural authority. And yeah, this is finding the source of authority within. If we don't have that, the child will only reflect that. How much we don't believe ourselves, how much we don't trust ourselves. So it's always a very good mirror. If the child is reacting, that means what I said I don't believe completely. So his reaction is a way for me, through the friction, my own tension it creates in me, to realize this part of me that can now be aligned. It's a way to reintegrate that part of me. So it's really precious what the children can bring us. So now.